So, 20 years ago, I was sitting in this big brown leather chair across from my oncologist's desk. And he's looking at my medical files, and he looks up at me and says, "It looks like the melanoma has spread, the cancer's spread, and it looks like you probably have about 6 months to live." I was 37 years old at the time, and it was a shock for me, obviously. I had a beautiful wife, Rich Fettke, who's the more attractive Fettke at this conference. I had this beautiful wife, wonderful children, a thriving coaching practice, and a freshly signed book deal with Simon & Schuster. So I felt like on top of the world until this diagnosis. It hit me hard in the heart, and it was several months of tears and frustration and despair. So freaking out, obviously. Thankfully, the doctor's diagnosis was wrong. The melanoma had not spread to my liver, and I was thrilled with that outcome. But in this, they say every curse has a blessing, right? In this, caused my wife to seek a way to create an income in case I died. She started to seek out mentors, and these mentors started to tell her about real estate investing. And then after this diagnosis, and after I was healed, after some surgeries, Kathy and I started to invest together. And we found a new way to financial freedom. And it worked so well for us that some of our friends and family wanted to do the same. So we said, let's form a group of investors, of friends and family, to help them invest. That small group has grown into 60,000 members. The company that Kathy and I built, Real Wealth, has helped thousands of people create financial freedom in their lives and become more aware, more focused, more clear to get more out of life. And that, now I feel like I'm older and wiser, hopefully, but now that's become my purpose, helping people create real wealth, to get the most out of life, to be their best self. So when Ben asked me if I would open this conference about how you can get more out of this conference over the next couple days together and into your future, and how you can be your best self, I jumped at the opportunity. So today, I'm seeing you as the most qualified expert in this room to answer this question. Who is the best version of you? I'm going to be asking you a bunch of questions today. This is the most important one. So take a moment now to just pause and think about that. Maybe close your eyes if you want. Take a deep breath. Who is the best version of you? When you show up at your best, who is that person? Are you confident? Are you successful? Are you caring? Are you a giver? Are you aware? Are you present? Maybe write that down. When you're at your best, who is the best version of you? And that's what we're going to look at today, that and how to get the most out of this conference, how to get the most out of your future. Becoming the best version of you starts here, right? Starts in the mind. This 3-pound organ in our skull that has 100 billion neurons and 100 trillion synapses. It's an amazing supercomputer. And we can either use it or we can waste it. Totally up to us. So today we're going to use it. We're going to look at how we can have this mindset of ours and how you can show up more effectively, more as the best version of yourself. So how do you do that? Because this mindset we have as human beings has a built-in negativity bias. We look for problems. As human beings, we look for problems. We seek them. Why does that happen? It's how we evolved. 50,000 years ago, as we evolved, we were always looking for problems. What's going to eat us? What's going to kill us? What's going to steal from us? What's going to take over our tribe? Whatever it might be. But we don't have those same challenges today, those same problems, right? But our mind still has this built-in negativity bias. So we have to find ways to overcome that negativity bias and get more clear and look at things in a different way. We don't have those same challenges. Yes, we have challenges and fears and all that and problems, but they're not like they used to be. So today I want to give you some ideas on how you can do that, how you can move through that. And I think one of the most effective things and that we have to be aware of is this little this little guy in our head. I like to call it the gremlin, right? We all have it. It's the whispers in your mind that says, you're not enough, you're not good enough, you can't do that, you're gonna fail. It's like, and sometimes maybe it's more than one gremlin, right? You have a whole bunch of voices in your head. It's like that itty-bitty shitty committee inside your brain, you know? So what do we do with that? What do we do with that? Sometimes we just have to slow down and recognize it. That gremlin in our mind is most powerful when it's in the dark. It's pulling the strings, it's controlling things. So here's the best way that we can recognize that gremlin. And it's not an enemy. Our gremlin is not an enemy. It's basically trying to protect us, but often it overprotects us. It tries to keep us safe. It's like you come to a conference like this, and you know, when you were young, your parents probably said, don't talk to strangers, right? And then you come to a conference like this, and you're standing over in the corner, and you got this voice going, don't talk to strangers, you know, and you're looking around. It doesn't work too well at a conference like this. So how do we overcome this guy? What do we do with it? Viktor Frankl, here's a great quote, very powerful one. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response, and in our response lies our growth and our freedom. So Viktor Frankl, you're probably aware, he wrote A Man's Search for Meaning. He was in a concentration camp, tortured, and came out of it realizing through that process that no matter what happened to him on the outside, no one could take away what was going on the inside. The stimulus might be abuse, but you can control the response. Here's the way to do that. It's very simple, but very powerful 3 steps. Number 1, breathe. Number 2, be present. Number 3, choose. So I want to practice this because I'm hoping that you can use this over the next couple days and then into your future. So breathing, let's try it right now. I want you to just take a deep breath in, as deep as you can, into your belly, let your ribs expand, hold it for a moment, and let it go. Nice. Let's do one more. Deep, deep into your belly. Take it in deep, hold, and let it all go. What happens when we do this deep breathing is we start to stimulate the vagus nerve, which stimulates and activates the prefrontal cortex of our brain, which calms us down. It has us feel more in control. It has us feel more confident. I was doing it backstage. It works incredible. So as you're going through this conference and networking and everything, you might not be the most extroverted person. Maybe you are. But there's something here about being able to calm down and get present. So the second step is being present. So once you do that breath, just remember that through this conference and into your future. That deep breath into your belly calms things down. You feel more in control, scientifically proven, and then you get present. So being present is about being curious about what's going on right now. What's my gremlin saying, right? Checking out. That little gremlin's going to try to hide in the dark and control things, but you're like, whoa, okay, Mr. Gremlin or gremlins, what's going on? What do you need right now? What are you afraid of? And things start to calm down. Your gremlin, that subconscious mind, really, it's huge. That subconscious mind will say, this is what I need right now. And you can also ask yourself, in that moment, being present, who is the best version of me? How would the best version of me show up? Whether it's here at this conference, whether it's with your kids, whether it's meeting a new client, whether it's about to go in and do a new deal, the best version of you, how do you want to show up? So that deep breath before you do it, calm you down, be present, be curious. How do I want to show up? What's the best version of me? How does that show up? And then you make a choice. And when you choose, that's when you ask yourself, what could I do? Okay, what could I do here? It's very powerful. It moves you from being a victim or in victim mindset, if the gremlin's trying to run things, into a creator mindset. Super empowering. So choose, what could I do here? And then you look at what could I do, and then you just move your thinking to the next question, what will I do? So moving through that, breathe, be present, and choose. I'm asking you, and I'm hoping that this really serves you through this conference over the next couple days and into the future. You know, my coaching clients over the years, I talked about the gremlin. I've coached everyone from multimillionaires to people just getting started. and from CEOs to people with sole proprietors. Every single person I've ever coached, including me, has this gremlin. So we all have it. So this is a process that you can use to move through, take the gremlin aside, be more confident, and show up as the best version of you. So now, not everything has to be a big thing, a big challenge, a big task. Sometimes it's those little things, those little choices that make the biggest difference in who we are and how we show up, right? To be the best version of ourselves. So thank you, Rick Hansen, for this one. If you take care of the minutes, the years will take care of themselves. So sometimes it's those little choices that we do on a regular basis. So consistently asking yourself, what's the best version of me? How are they going to show up? How are they going to show up? What are they going to do in this moment? Each day, each morning, each moment. Now, I would not be doing my job today about how to make the most of this conference without giving a couple ideas on how to make the most of a conference. Probably a lot of you have been to a lot of these conferences. Maybe some are new. But here's just 4 simple steps. Number 1, clarifying your goal. So what is it that you want to get from this conference? Have you thought about that? What's the big goal? After this conference is over, when you're looking back on it, what is it that you want to create? What do you want to achieve? Who do you want to connect with? Bring that to mind. And then carry that through this conference with you. So often we go through these conferences, we meet people, we attend sessions and everything, and then the conference is over, and it's like, oh, what did I get from that? So going in with that intention, number 1, clarify your goals. Number 2, networking. Yeah, of course, right? Simple, networking, but sometimes, how do we do that? How do we do that? So often it's this networking thing, the small talk. A lot of us don't like the small talk. There's people talking about how many doors they have, how many units they have, how much assets under management, how many deals they've done and everything. It's like they can get a little bit ego-based. So if you're having a challenge at all networking, or you're like, I don't really feel like and everything, I want you to remember this is what I tell myself, when in doubt, focus out. When in doubt, focus out. It's a real simple way to be clear and focus on the other person, right? It's like Dale Carnegie, right? How to Win Friends and Influence People, looking at the other person. So as we go through the next couple of days together, please seek that. When in doubt, focus out. And instead of asking someone or telling someone about what you're doing, I'm going to ask you to say, what are you excited about to that other person? And maybe it's not that exact phrase, but what are you excited about is such a powerful phrase because you find out from the other person, what are they really excited about? And it moves something aside. All of a sudden you see their enthusiasm come up. They get excited. So you might say something, maybe it's not what are you excited about, but it's like, what are you working on right now? What's your biggest goal? Or what's working for you right now? Simple questions. But so remember that. What are you excited about? And then the last one is, not the last one, taking notes third, is make sure you take some notes. After a session, after you meet someone, write their name down, what you're going to do about it. If you get someone's business card, take the note on that, what they do and what the connection was, what you had in common. And then the 4th one is following up. So often we forget this, right? We go to these conferences, we meet amazing people, and then we get a stack of business cards, and then we say, I'm going to put those in my contact management, and they go in the drawer. So follow up with those people that were most influential to you, that had the biggest impact on you, that might be the biggest lead. So Kathy and I have attended this conference since the beginning, the Best Ever Conference. It's been incredible for us. We have met so many people here. These guys from Spartan. We've skied with people from this Best Ever Conference. We've done business deals together. We've partnered. We've strategized. We've done mountain biking rides together. We've gone to Maui together. We've hung out with some weird people who like to hug us. You know? It's incredible how much you can get from the people at this conference, from the connections you make. It's had a massive impact on Kathy and my business and our lives, more on our lives, the people that we've met, the connections we've made. For example, Ken McElroy is in that photo there, is a Rich Dad advisor. He introduced me to Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki wrote the foreword for my new book. It's coming out in spring. It's called The Wise Investor. So it's a modern parable about creating financial freedom and living your best life, right up my alley. I'm super stoked on this book. I'm really happy about it. I've been working on it for about the last year and a half. Actually, probably for the last 20 years, really, right? But this is a result of the people that we've met and the connections that we've met from the Best Ever Conference and things like that. So I'm going to ask you, going forward here, to keep this in mind. As you're going through the next couple days, continue to be the best version of you. What I asked you earlier, when you're showing up as the best version of you, what does it look like? Who are you? And how can you be that going forward? Remember to do the breathing. Let's do one more right now. Deep breathing into your belly. One more. And let it out. Very grounding. Remember what it scientifically is doing inside your brain. Really powerful. Be present, show up, and make those great choices. And don't be afraid to reach out. When in doubt, focus out. Reach out and ask people what they're excited about. What are they up to? Be curious. And as we move through this conference, if that negativity bias starts to come in, that little gremlin starts to come in and try to get you, I want to share something with you that's hanging in my office wall. This is called Promise Yourself. It was written by Christian Larson back in 1912, and then it was adopted as the Optimist International Creed in 1922, and still holds up today, 100 years later. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet, to make all your friends feel that there is something worthwhile in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own, to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful expression at all times and give a smile to every living creature you meet, to give so much time to improving yourself that you have no time to criticize others, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to prevent the presence of trouble. To think well of yourself and proclaim this fact to the world, not in loud word, but in great deeds. And to live in the faith that the whole world is on your side, so long as you are true to the best that is in you. Now, if you guys want an advanced reader's copy of my book, it's coming out in the spring, like I said, in an audiobook and a hardcover and an ebook. But what I'd like to offer to you is if you want an advanced reader's copy for free, just shoot me an email, rich@realwealth, rich@realwealth, or on Instagram, I'm on at Rich Fettke. Be happy to give that to you. So let's have an awesome couple of days together. Thank you, and let's kick ass. Thank you.